Hey everybody, good afternoon. Welcome to Midday Market Update. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Glad to be here, glad to have you here. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. This is the first trading day of the week. First things first, it looks like from a market perspective, or what could affect the market, is that the hike of the money hike. The hell is that, Joey? The debt ceiling crisis is still a crisis. Still a crisis. By the way, if you can hear me, by all means, please respond in the chat. Let me know that I am coming across loud and clear on the chat for me, please. So I guess still right now, on top of inflation, on top of interest rates, it's the debt ceiling. And man, they paused again. We're getting closer and closer to the initial time where Janet Yellen says that we're going to run out of money. And at some point in time, we gotta do something. Now, interesting is Jim Penna and I had a conversation. He said it's not money that we need to spend; it's money that we've already spent. So I didn't realize it from that perspective. It's just confirming money that we've already spent. So I don't know why the cuts, and excuse me, it is what it is, but they need to do something, because if we run out of money or we don't have the ability to pay our bills, it's going to be detrimental on the economy, which is, again, going to be detrimental on the stock market. I still think that at some point in time, we're going to see who's going to be the first to chicken out and just say, all right, fine, we'll concede. I don't know if it's going to be the current regime, call it a regime, current administration, or the bill that's being trying to put in. So, all right. So we still have more earnings this week. We'll talk about that. The whole idea is, what stocks can you find? What stocks can we find for you based on the news, based on our analysis to help you to make money in the market? That's what it's all about this week. All right, today. And then don't forget tonight's 6 p.m. video is what you wanted. You want it on a weekly basis, the Monday video, to give you your top 5 picks of the week. I did it for both the U.S. and, because of the comments, I've also done it for Canada. So I'm going to give you the top 5 weeks in the U.S. for this week, the top 5 stocks for the Canadian market this week. And I've gone a little deeper. What I think I'm going to do on all of those videos is I'm going to show you how to get in at the right time. And once you've gotten in, I'm going to show you how to manage the trade. So you don't want to forget that. It's tonight at 6 p.m. It's going to be that for every Monday. That's going to be the Monday video. Joey, can I see the other page that shows how many people are here? How do I get to that without messing something up? I won't mess it up. Okay, that's what I thought. I just wasn't sure. All right, we got about 163 people here, folks. Let's try to get 300 people in the room. Everybody wants to know what stocks they need to look at coming into this week. So between right now and the Monday 6 p.m. video, we're going to do that for you. Let's start off with what's going on in the market. We've got a green light. Primary wave is back up for the fourth day in a row. How many of you feel comfortable about the market moving higher right now? Type a 1 if you feel that we're on the onset of another nice up run. Type a 2 if you're feeling a little timid about the move. Type a 1 if you think that this is going to be the onset to another nice upward move. Type a 2 if you're a little timid in what's going on in the market. I am of the side. All right, I'm going to tell you, I am of the side that I'm a little bit timid in the room. I'm a little bit more timid. There's not enough in my mind, and this is now speculation on my part. I don't do a lot of it. It's not enough in my mind to say that the market has changed enough. I think there's a lot of anticipation that the Fed's going to pause in June. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. I still think that on paper, he still needs to continue to raise rates. All right, that's on paper, especially if he's really adamant about getting to 2%. So I see a mixture of, Mark says 2 because the FOMC minutes on Wednesday. Are the minutes really going to give some insight as to what he's going to do in June? And I think that's what more people are looking at right now. Michael says, hey, anyone 180 619 calls. Should I sell? Listen, on what? On Tesla? Again, I'm long term, I'm a big fan of Tesla. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of Tesla. And I think that now Elon Musk is starting to raise prices again, especially on the US side. I think he was enough of letting the market, the price bite into margin. He said, oh, I'm okay with biting into margin. I just want, sales. I think after he looked at it, he said, holy smokes, that's a lot of margin we're getting into. So he started raising prices in the U.S. If all lights turn green, it'll be a grand slam, says Lifestyle Coach. What's the predominant color you see in the color guard? Even with 3 out of the last 4 days in the green on the color guard price, what's the predominant color you see? Yellow. Because of that, I'm still of the mindset I'm not super warm and fuzzy about this upward move. Do you think that Twitter hurt his brand in naming a CEO? Michael, excuse me, Mitchell, one of the biggest things I said about Elon Musk, he needed to get out of Twitter. Wow. I think that feels better. Sorry about that. He needed to get out of Twitter and put his concentration back into Tesla. As much as I've beaten up Tesla a little bit short term, I've said over and over again that Tesla's a good stock, good fundamentally sound stock going long term. I don't know if it's turned around now because now he's pulling away from Twitter. He's got his, CEO there, to replace him. We'll see. We'll definitely see. Elon Musk is trending as a possible presidential choice. Ooh. What I'm going to push for that? I'm going to push that. He's a good business guy. I just don't know if he's presidential material. All right. So that's what we look like on the market. Let's get into the software and let's go pull up a market timing graph and let's go see what's going on there. Here's the intraday move of the market. We gapped up this morning, faded the gap pretty deeply, and then rebounded and now hitting a new high just as I come on. And then people say, Glenn, what did you do to the market? I have no idea. It had nothing to do with me. Market's moving up from our day trading timing signal. The DTI has been up, giving us an up call ever since 10:58 this morning. Trading that signal as a day trader, doing a good job helping you to find stocks to play to the upside today. Let's go to the 3-month graph. This is where my timidness is. Here is the wedge that we were in. Let me move this over a little bit. Here's the wedge that we were in. We finally broke to the outside of the wedge, but we've got a level of resistance on the VectorVest composite at $56.87. In order for me to think that the market's got some legs to the upside, we've got to break through that level of resistance. You guys understand what I'm saying? Yes or no? You guys understand what I'm saying? Yes or no? That's what I'm looking for. I know that the primary wave is up. Let's go put on the primary wave. I know that the primary wave is up and has been for the last few days, for the last 4 days. All right. I do like that. But I am of the mindset if we're going to really get some legs to the upside, I'd like to break through this level of resistance. And actually, let's take out this prior high. Let's take out this swing high. And notice as the market went up right here, boom, 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 got to that high. We haven't been able to get back to that high yet. So I'm looking for 2 things. I'm looking to see if we can break through this level of resistance and then break through this level of the swing high. That would actually get us out of this downtrend that we're in as well. So put those 2 things together. I'm still not as optimistic in the move right now until we can break through some levels of resistance first. All right, now let's get into the stories that are moving the market, and this is where the rubber meets the road, right here. Investors rushing into stocks are wandering into a bull trap. Now, based upon what I just showed you on the market timing graph, does that make sense? We could be getting into a bull trap. Now, let's talk about all of the people who typed a 1 that they were thinking that this is a nice upward leg in the market. Again, let us get through those 2 levels of resistance, then my mind will change. But how many of you think that this currently is a bull trap? Now, probably all of the people who typed a 2 will believe that this is a bull trap. I'm really looking at the people who typed a 1 that they were really warm and fuzzy. Now, does this help you? Yellow's in the color guard, okay? We got 2 levels of resistance on the VectorVest composite. We got minutes coming out, inflation, interest rates, debt ceiling. There's a lot going on in the market. So I know that we all want to be nice and bullish in the market so we can make some money. But, let's keep in mind what's going on. Bill says it's a bull trap for sure. 14th Amendment and off ka-ching. Something, I saw something about that the president can actually invoke the 14th Amendment and raise the debt ceiling on his own. I think that's a scary thing to do because every president has access to that, right? And if things are not going your way, no matter who's president, they can invoke that. And I think that's a slippery slope. Would you agree with that? Now, I don't like to do the politics thing. I don't want to do the politics thing, but that's WB says the 14th Amendment, the president has the ability to just go raise the rate on its own. That's kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky. All right, so I wanted to bring up this story because I asked the question about, do you feel warm and fuzzy about this, or are you a little trepid? And this is coming from Morgan Stanley, and this is an op-ed piece, about what they think. MWG, don't put in stocks yet. I'm going to take a look at your stocks when I get an opportunity towards the end. And Mark says, as long as he pays it, I don't know how that happens. And he can clear the debt ceiling, but now what about balancing the budget? All right. So Sonny says the president shall pay the debt. Is that what the 14th Amendment is? Hold on. What is the 14th Amendment? Did I spell it right? We'll do that real quick. The 14th Amendment is when the Constitution was adopted, and it granted citizenship and equal. Is that right? That ain't the right one. 14th Amendment gave the Congress the authority to bar public. Well, all right. Let me look into that. All right. Let me go look into that. Who says that? Very nice stock trading. Well, listen, it's all about what's going on in the market. All right. It's all about what's going on in the market. All right. And I think that the debt ceiling does affect our ability to make money in the market. Do you agree with that, Lau? All right, just think about that. It does affect our ability. If we don't get this taken care of, it's going to affect our ability. All right, so now Roger says the 14th grants no powers to the president. So I thought it was the 14th. We'll see. All right, let's go to the next story. U.S. inflation set to stay firm in challenge for the Fed. To stay firm in, so again, I know the people who are typing the ones thinking that the market is, we'll see. We will definitely see. I think that on paper, though, the Fed's going to have to keep on doing what he's doing. The Fed officials is open to foregoing the June rate hike, followed by, same Kashkari says the June pause on rates wouldn't indicate an end to hiking cycle. So even if they do decide to pause, rate hikes are still on the table going forward. All right, now let's talk about some stocks. I wanted to give some insight behind what's going on in the market. Meta, how many of you heard this story? Meta fined a record $1.3 billion over EU user data transfers to the US. That's bad news. Meta has been fined a record $1.2 billion. The Irish Data Protection Commission also told Meta to suspend any further transfer of personal data, and Meta said it would appeal the decision and the fine. So let's go take a look at adding Meta to our list. We'll come back to this list of our stocks in the news, META. All right. Of course, that's going to be the number one in the list by VST. No matter what, Meta up over 2%. Let's go figure. It is. So the bad news is good news. I don't know if it's really good news, but the bad news still has Meta up 2%. All right. Let's go to the next story. Another stock. Now, this is interesting news. I got them back to back. Why Micron, NVIDIA, and AMD shares are moving lower pre-market Monday. Now, the thing is with Micron, China announced a ban on U.S. companies' products. Is this China's way of getting back at us because of TikTok? Yes or no? Is this China's way of trying to get back at us because of TikTok? All right, so I think that it is. But the other two stocks, NVIDIA and AMD, which I think all of these stocks are very important when it comes down to AI space, chips, taking all of that business back out of China. But I noticed that AMD is up today about 1.5%, NVIDIA is down a little bit, and Intel is up about 0.5%. So let's go add these stocks. Micron, MU, INTC, NVDA, and AMD. All chip stocks. All chip stocks, and all because China is really going after Micron. Where's Micron? Micron's down 2%, but notice AMD, notice that NVIDIA, and notice that Intel, all in the same space, are all up. China specifically is going after Micron. They are feeling the effects of that. But notice all of these stocks, and not even talk about Meta, but all of the chip stocks have RTs above 1. Why? Because the AI space is driving these stocks. My favorite stock out of all of them right now still tends to be NVIDIA, the biggest one. I still like that stock. It's the only stock in the list right now with a CI above 1.29. If MU is up, why is Meta up after $1 billion fine? Marcus, I don't have a good answer to that. I honestly don't have a good answer to that. You would think that with the fine that Meta got, that it would have been going down. And I'm thinking that investors are saying, they're calling bull. All right. And they're saying we're still more bullish on the stock than ever. That's the only thing that I can see about it, Marcus. That's the only thing that I can see about it. I made some nice Memorial Day beach money with AMD calls last week. AMD is still a good stock. Notice, by way of VST, it is the second best stock in the list. But notice that right now, NVIDIA is the only stock that's got a comfort index above 1. All right, let's get to the next story. NVIDIA stock is trading on heroic valuations amid its 2023 eruption. And I still think that the whole chip space is because of a couple of different things. TSMC building a major factory here in the United States. It's going to take a long time before that's happening. And AI is pushing chip stocks higher. All right, next one. Ford to charge up EV drive with flurry of battery deals. Ford is going into, Tesla's already got factories up for batteries. Ford is going after that business. I think the next two big car companies that could effectively go after Tesla should be Ford and GM. All right, my question is, why are they taking so long to actively go after Tesla? My answer to that is, I think that Tesla is way ahead of the curve when it comes down to the EVs. Notice that Ford and GM have combustible combustion engines. Tesla was all about EV from the beginning. So I think that Tesla has still set the precedent as far as EVs and the big boys, and everybody's still chasing at them. But Ford and GM have the capabilities to outproduce Tesla like that. They do. But I think they're slowly but surely getting into the space. And I think that with Ford trying to diversify and now bring aboard their own batteries, develop their own batteries. And another thing is that Tesla's far ahead of the game in the development of the batteries as well. All right, so Lucid is such an expensive vehicle. If you're going to look at the EV space in the cars, the Lucid Air is, I've seen prices of above $250,000 for that car. But I'm thinking that it's with all of the bells and the whistles. But the other side of the Lucid is that it does have a 500-mile range on the charge. That's the only EV that I know of that's out there that's got that kind of a range, and that's the Lucid. But the Lucid is so freaking expensive, so expensive. Don't count the Kia Hyundai. I'm not counting neither one of those out, Reginald. I just don't think that they have the building and the production capability like Ford and GM, Reginald. I'm not counting out anybody. I just don't think that they've got the manufacturing ability like Ford and GM. Tesla could boost their profit margins if they just use extra. I'm not getting into extra, but they could. Thing is that Tesla doesn't want to have to go to somebody else to say that somebody else helped to make their cars better. Elon Musk is working towards being able to do all of this on his own without using Xro. Now, Xro can help all of the other EVs out there to compete against Tesla. I just don't think that Tesla goes to Xro. All right, no, Mark, don't get me all up on that. All right, so what am I putting in here? I'm going to put in Ford and I'm going to put in Tesla in my list. I'm going to put in Ford, comma, TSLA. Let's go see where they sit. Looking at, come on, Ford's at the bottom of the list. And that's another thing about Ford. You look at Tesla's trading at $185 with a value of $133. Ford has only got a value of $9.17 with all of the capabilities they have. And look at this, an earnings growth rate of -6, where Tesla's got the earnings growth rate of 33%. Again, my question is, how does that happen with Ford being around nearly as long as they have with the manufacturing capability they have? They just ain't doing it. All right, let's get to the next story. Beat of the week, Bed and Body Works. I thought it was Bed Bath and Beyond, but it's Bath and Body Works. I like this. I get these lotions from Bath and Body Works. Can you see that? I get that. And then I get the hand sanitizers from Bath and Body Works too. You see that? So I do like Bath and Body Works. My wife gets a bunch of candles from there, blah, 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 blah. But the personal care retailers shares jumped after it beat earnings estimate and raised its guidance. So let's go put in, what is this? BBWI, Bed and Bath and Body Works. All right, BBWI. That's a good thing. All right. Go with Elf. I do like Elf. I'm not buying the Elf beauty products. I thought Elf, I'm not buying that. I ain't, my wife can, but I'm not. Look at that BBWI. It's towards the bottom of the list. Fairly valued. I'm going to call it fairly valued. Only thing it's got going for it is got an RT above 1. It's not fundamentally sound. Where's the earnings growth rate? Look at that. Negative earnings growth rate as well. So this is why we look at the news, but then we look at the analysis in the VectorVest software. As well. Marcus says, everyone said Tesla would fold, were fools and too hard to build cars. Now look, Ford and GM can build cars, can't get their batteries figured out. Ta-da, there you go. There you go. All right, again, Tesla came in right off the bat, strictly EVs. All right, oops, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's go to my next story. Now, a lot of people have always asked me when I talk about EVs, why don't I talk about hydrogen? Well, today I have a hydrogen stock for you to keep your eyes on. Green hydrogen has promise and momentum. The stock's not so much. All right. So hydrogen stock store, this ticker symbol is HDRO. We're going to take a look at it today. There have been false starts for the hydrogen in the past. Read hefty reports, blah, 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 blah. It's different, all right. The past hydrogen hype cycles focused on consumer uses like fuel cells for cars. This one is more about using industrial scale hydrogen to clean up fertilizer and steel. So a different perspective on hydrogen fuel, not for the car space specifically. Let's take a look at the stock though. HDRO. All right, let's go draw that up in there. HDRO. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's go see where it sits. GM and Ford are clinging to their legacy systems. And you know something? Why? It's been around forever. They've got name recognition off of it. But think about it. With any company, with any brand, as you start to see the tide turn, you start to go towards the tide if you're going to stay in business, right? So, yeah, they are getting into the EV space, but I think they've got a long way to go. Could they take over Tesla as far as the leading car seller of EVs? I think that they could, but the batteries just don't compare. They just don't compare. Well, batteries are hydrogen fuel cells, which Elon isn't crazy about and doesn't use them. But I get this. I get the questions about why don't we talk about hydrogen more? This is an ETF. All right, this is an ETF. RT below 1. I wanted to put it on the list because it did make some news. So we're going to take a look at that. Next story. This is a good story, and this story backs up something else that I've been talking about as far as my 4 major industries that are going to go through a boom right now. Applied Materials to inject $4 billion for a chip research and development center in Silicon Valley. Bingo! What have I told you to keep your eyes on? Building cement, glass, copper, and steel. More and more manufacturers or more companies are bringing that supply stuff back to the United States, which requires big, massive amounts of building. Building cement, glass, steel, copper. I'm telling you, keep your eyes on this, and this adds more to that story. $4 billion for a research center in Silicon Valley, AMAT. Again, I don't want you guys to fall asleep on those 4 industries. I don't want you to fall asleep on those 4 industries. Where's AMAT? Right in the middle. Overvalued. It's a safe company that makes money. CI below 1. Notice that still out of all of these stocks that we've looked at from the news, only one stock's got a comfort index above 1. AMAT is a judgment. They are GM of equipment builders. Listen, I am of the mindset, I've done videos on AMAT in the past as they were, going through stuff. Listen, I think it's overvalued, but they do make money. Overvalued, but they do make money. What's the earnings growth rate on AMAT? Let's go move that over. -2. Man, notice that a lot of the stocks in the news have negative earnings. So if I'm looking at the 2 best stocks for the week for you guys, I'm looking at NVIDIA because of the CI above 1. And then I'm also looking at Tesla. Out of all of these stocks, positive double-digit earnings growth. So 2 stocks for the week right now is going to be NVIDIA and Tesla from the news. All right, let's get into my next to last story. Obesity drug. Obesity drug brings heart health benefit alongside weight loss study. This is the Novo Nordisk new obesity drug may help reduce the risk of heart disease as well as boosting weight loss. I've got a drug that's not this that will help me to lose weight and it's good for my diabetes and good for my heart health, which is, Jardiance. I'm taking Jardiance. So a lot of these drugs that are good for diabetes do a really good job in helping people for losing weight, like Ozempic. And a lot of people were going out to get Ozempic, whether or not they were a diabetic or not. So, but here's another weight loss drug. I like that as well. Keep your eyes on it. LCRX is a competitor. AMAT kills them. I'll go put that on the list too. Let's go put on Novo. We'll go put on Novo, and then we'll also put on LCRX. NOVO, yikes, Novo. Where is it? Dang it. NVO, is it NVO? Yeah, LC. Even though LCRX did not, what is it? LRCX didn't make the news. There's Novo at the top of the list now. LRCX. Here we go. We'll add that to the list. Now, from the news, Novo's at the top of the list. See, second stock with a CI above 1. I like it. Earnings growth rate, double digits. I like it. I've got 3 stocks from the news that I do like for you so far this week. Novo, NVIDIA, and Tesla. All right, Novo, NVIDIA, and Tesla. TSLL about to cross on the MPI graph. That's another, if you want to play Tesla without paying $185, you can go with TSLL. That is the ETF to play Tesla. It should be right there with Tesla. There it is. What's the RT's at 1.17, no CI above 1. That's a different way to play Tesla without, you can play the TSLL at $10.50 without trying to trade Tesla at 185. All right, well, that's what it is, Mitchell. It is an ETF to play Tesla at a lot less money. So if you want to be bullish on Tesla, TSLL, trading $10.57 instead of trying to buy a share of Tesla at 185. Does that make sense, Mitchell? That's what it's for. That's what it's for. All right. Down to my last couple of stories. Earnings. What earnings this week? A lot of retail again this week. Lowe's, Dick's, BJ's, Nvidia's this week. I already like the stock, but let's go see what happens with earnings. Costco, Best Buy, Big Lots. Again, a lot of Red Robin, Yum restaurant, also retail. A lot of retail again this week, but not a ton of stocks. Pet Meds, also retail. So Rainier, interesting. This is the company that's putting in the orders to Boeing for a whole bunch of planes. So we'll see what happens with that as well. Glenn, I love your latest MPI video. I'm glad you guys watched it. That was a team effort. That wasn't me. Normally, I'm the one that does my own content, but that was a team effort of something that we thought would have been good for you guys to see. So that was a video that was brought up by the team. All right. Why are you shaking your head, Mitchell? All right. Why are you shaking your head? I don't know why you're shaking your head, unless that's the stock you're looking for. I don't know. All right. So I wanted to tell you that there's a lot of retail coming up, some stocks to keep your eyes on as well. Then check semi. Not sure. All right. So here's all of the stocks. There's 13 stocks from the news that I got for you this week. Well, LCRX, LXRL. Yeah, that wasn't one of the stocks that were in the news, but nonetheless, I will put that in there. If I'm looking at stocks for you for this week from the news, I do like, let's highlight those. NVIDIA, Novo, Tesla. Where's AMD? AMD earnings growth still in the positive, not double digits though, but I'll take it. Those are my stocks towards the top of the list that I've got more insight on, saying that I think those are good stocks for the week. Let's put this on a 1 month graph. We'll even look at the MPI graph. Actually, let's put this on 3 month graph. Let's change the graph layout to VectorVest Simple. There's my stop price. Novo, look at that, a little bit of a sideways move on it right now. I would really like to see if the stock could take out this high. Not that. Dateline. See if it could take out this level of the 3 month high. We're not far from it. I'd like to see that. I do like the move coming off this level of a pullback. It is above the stop price. Earnings per share looks good. RT is above 1, pulling back because today's a down day. I would really like to see if we can take out that level of the 3 month high. Wow, NVIDIA is just rocking and rolling. Bottom left, top right, stop price, beautiful. Earnings per share, beautiful. There's nothing bad about this stock, but I do see a pullback for 2 days in a row. If I'm going to give you a line in the sand, if you're in it, I'm going to give it to you at this most recent swing high where it went a little sideways. 292.16 is my stop, my line in the sand. ETF for NVIDIA, there is one. Omar, I got to go find it though. I think there is an ETF. Oh, there's one for Apple. There's one for Alibaba. I'll see if there is one for NVIDIA. I'll see if there, I'm not going to say for sure there is one. I've got a listing of those stocks. I will see if there is one for NVIDIA. But I do like NVIDIA trading at 311. I think it's optionable if you don't want to pay 311. And I'll see if there is an ETF for it. Daniel says, Glenn, I called technical support education, had a simple question, spoke to a guy named Rick. He didn't answer my question at all, and I am a prime time. Daniel, send me an email. My email is glennt@vectorvest.com. Let me see if I can try to answer it for you, all right? Glenn, with 2 N's, glennt@vectorvest.com. I will see if I can try to answer your question. All right, next stock on my list for you this week. Now, Tesla, again, dropping the prices, biting into margin. I said that short term it was going to go through some pain, and it did. I think it's turning around now. I think he's getting out of Twitter. I think he's starting to raise prices on the cars again. Bounced off support, back above the stop price. Earnings, we don't know what happens with that because of the drop in the price. I'm wondering, I'd really like to see the price go up with RT going back above 1. All right. Is that what it is? NVDS. NVDS. Thank you, Jody. That's the ETF for NVIDIA. NVDS. As a matter of fact, let me throw it in this list real quick. NVDS. Ta-da! Jody, you are awesome. Jody, you are awesome. That is it for you, Omar. That is the ETF for NVIDIA. Thank you again very much for that, Jody. Everybody give Jody a hand. That was awesome to be able to do that. Let me get my mouse back. Let me get this back. That was awesome for you to do that. All right, so Omar is liking what Jody did. That's all right. So with that, I like the bounce now off of the level of support after it, and now the bounce back above the level of the stop. I like the move. The stock's got upside all the way up to the 3-month high, sitting at the value of, get that off of there. The 3-month high with the value, I got an upside to the price of about 205.71. I like that move. I like that move. I cannot lie. And if you watch the stock's price go up with RT going above 1, I think that's a great combination. Also on my list is AMD, bottom left, top right, still like that. I don't like the earnings per share. I really don't. Just keep your eyes on that. It's still positive, though. Earnings per share still sitting at $3.57. Let's go add a parameter. Let's go put earnings growth. It's still at 17%. Still 17%. It's falling as well. I'd like NVIDIA better. I like NVIDIA better. That's my own opinion. All right, I like NVIDIA better. All right, but I can't fight the tape. 3-month high, coming off a 3-month high today. What else is in here? Meta. Even with the news, Meta's still rocking and rolling. And the next stock I have in here is LRCX. It's pulling back a little bit. AMAT, the news is there. I'm watching 2 days. I got a level of support, though. This little high here, 125.44. It's close to it. I do like to shoot up in the earnings. RT is okay, and it's still above the stop price. TSLL, there's the Tesla play again without having to pay $300 for Tesla. RT just went above 1. I like that play. That's another good play for you going into the week. MU, big drop on price. Earnings is getting more better, even though it's negative, it's still getting more better. So I do like the Tesla play for the week. Intel, be careful with that. It's still above the stop. Hydro, I'm not going to tell you that that's a good play for the week. Bath and Body Works, maybe not, and Ford, not right now. All right, so there's a few stocks that I do like for you this week coming from the news. All right, let's go to what industries are rocking and rolling. NVIDIA, NVDL is the long, NVDS is the bearish. Is that what it is? Let's go back to big news. I didn't realize NVDS. Jody gave us the short side of it. Did you, Jody? Let's go to stock analysis report. Is this to the inverse? Yep. NVDS is the short side of it. NVDL, excuse me, NVDL is the long side of it. NVDL. There you go. All right. It's down a little bit today. There you go. Industries, lithium and batteries. I saw something. Hold on. Let me go to my industries. Where's the money going today? The monies are going to commodities today. Money is definitely going to commodities. It's sort by percent price change. Uranium. There you go, Marcus. Lithium. That's what, wow, big time on uranium. Let's go view the stocks in that. Oh, that's not, I didn't want that. I don't want stock news. That's the ETF. I don't think it's going to show me the stocks. because it's the ETF. But uranium is a good play today. Lithium is a good play. Real estate, interesting, is a good play today. Comm services, S&P 600. Healthcare is up 0.3. Where's to stay away from? Natural gas. 60 Minutes did a part on lithium in South California last night. Thank you, Lynette. I appreciate that. All right. So, Jody, I still thank you for the ETF, but now we got the right one. It's NVDL for the long side of NVIDIA, NVDS for the short side. CCJ is up to 5.2%. Let me tell you something. Lithium is on, uranium is on the rise today. Uranium is on the rise. CCJ is a good pick in that space. CCJ is a good pick in that space. But the biggest movers today are uranium and lithium. Uranium. And Jody, that's why I appreciate it. That's why I appreciate it. Could AMD be in a catch-up mode to NVIDIA? You know, no. I'll tell you no. Let me go. I want to go to NVIDIA and AMD. I think that's a great question. That's a great question. So let's go check that out. NVDA, AMD. Let's put them side by side. All right, let's go put them side. That's another one. The Penguin for uranium is another good play. So when I look at the two of these, right, NVIDIA RT is moving faster. It's got a better VST. And another thing, NVIDIA goes up more than it goes down with a CI above 1. All right, both stocks are grossly overvalued. Earnings growth, AMD has got a better earnings growth than NVIDIA, okay? AMD doesn't pay a dividend, NVIDIA does, and it's a super safe safe dividend. Let's go and keep moving over. Average volume, AMD has got more volume than NVIDIA, but it looks like NVIDIA has more sales. So I don't know if I really want to call it sales growth minus where NVIDIA is less worse. I don't know if I want to call it a catch-up to NVIDIA. I think that both stocks are going to benefit because of AI, because of chips. All right, but I think that NVIDIA is trading at a higher price point than AMD for a reason. They both make money, but if I'm looking from, fundamentally, but from the technical side, I have to go a little bit more with NVIDIA. All right. What did Mark say? Mark must have said something funny because Maria's laughing. Palantir is moving up nicely. Do you recommend buying it at this time? I like Palantir. You got to time it. You really got to time it. PLTR. I like it from the information standpoint. Also part of the NVIDIA of the AI space. It's moving up 2.92%. This is strictly a time thing. Put this on a 1 month graph. Do I like it? To get into it now, tell you when I like it. Once it gets above that level right there, I'd put it in order 5 cents higher than the high. I do like the most recent move off of earnings. All right. I do like the most recent move off of earnings. I gapped up, never faded the gap, still moving up. This is end of day. Earnings looks good. I like the play. I would rather put the odds in my backyard by going 5 cents higher than the high. Snow is another one. Palantir and Snow are in the same space from that perspective. I do like them both. And again, all of this adds to the AI space. But Palantir is a lot less money. Palantir is in an uptrend right now rather than more of an uptrend than Snow. But Snow grows their earnings at 44%, Palantir at 24%. Another thing I like about Palantir is that they've got contract after contract after contract. Still ain't out there yet. They got contract after contract after contract. And Snow is, at the higher price point than Palantir for a reason. All right, let's go back to my watch list viewer. A couple other things I wanted to show you. I did the MPI video this week. I wanted to give you, for those people who are not subscribers to the VectorVest system, here's my one-day MPI choices. All right, I want you guys to write these down. All right, if you hadn't watched the video, I invite you to go back and watch the video. I'm going to go through this real quick. You just have to take pictures of these. These meet the MPI crossing for 1 day. All right, these are a little bit more aggressive. And then I've got my MPI for 3 days. These are a little bit more swing traderish. I'm not going to explain the MPI here. I just did a video on it. I invite for any of you who have not watched it to go take a look at the video. You get a better understanding. But here's my 1 day and the 3 day winners or choices from the MPI for this week. All right. And Contras always, because the market is, a little bit of wicky-wacky, and because a lot of things that are going on, there's only 2 Contras that are moving today, the SVIX and the SDOW. Interesting, on an up day, the inverse of the Dow is up. All right. I always want you to have some contras in your back pocket to keep your eyes on at any given time. All right. Last thing we're going to do. Oh, no. Two things. My phase 3 drugs. All right. Phase 3 drugs. Now, a question came in last week by way of comment. Said you had a stock in here and it didn't have a lot of volume. You're right. Some of these may not. But the whole idea about these drugs is that they're going through some phase 3 analysis that could boost the stock's price up tremendously. The purpose of me even putting this out is, how many times have you seen a stock that's been a drug stock that goes up 50, 11 trillion billion %? You're like, man, I didn't even know anything about that stock. All right. So this is why I'm putting these out. Here's my phase 3 drugs from last week. Let's see how we did. Let's go back to last week, the 15th. These are my drugs that I gave you. Let's see if you guys had an opportunity to make some money. Ooh, it's down. Ooh, but look at that. 2 drugs went up double digits in 1 week. I brought them to your attention. Now, Rain is down 87%. There's no way that you should have ridden that stock's price down. All right, so when I did the MPI video, I showed you how to manage the trades. Actually, this is not MPI. Let me back up. All you have to do is make sure that before you pull the trigger on the trades that you go higher. You put in a buy stop. If it's less than $20, you go 5 cents higher than the high. If it's more than 20 cents, you go 12 cents higher than the high. And how you manage it, look at the stop price, which is only germane to VectorVest, or put some kind of moving averages that you're comfortable with. But in 1 week, bring into your attention 2 stocks that went up. Always make sure you're buying into a stock that's rising. My drug stocks for this week, let's stream. Here they are. And I have a site that I go through to try to find the stocks that have these capabilities of the phase 3. Take a picture of this as well. A lot of them are up today. Out of the 9 stocks, 6 out of the 9 stocks are up nicely today. A lot of these are drug stocks. They are going to be overvalued. Not a lot of these are fundamentally sound. But this is phase 3 news that's either getting ready to happen now or will be happening in the next few weeks or in this quarter. All right, so that's why I put these stocks together for you. Write them down, take a picture, whatever you need, and we'll see how these worked out for you next week. Could you stream with high quality HD 108? I don't know what that means. Joey's in the background. I don't know what that means. Joey will tell me yes or no if that's something we want to do. HD one, I have no idea what that is. All right, last but not least, we do. They just need to change their resolution on the cog. All right, so we do that, Massimo. You just need to change your resolution on the cog, the little computer part at the bottom of the video. You'll see it, and you can change the resolution so you'll see it that way. All right, last but not least, let's go look at some stocks for you this week. Let me go clear this out. I'm going to take 10 of your stocks. All right. At any time, if the video is fuzzy, you can change the resolution by hitting on the computer cog in the bottom of the video and change the resolution. All right. Here we go. 10 stocks. Upstart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can't spell it. 8, 9, METV. That makes 10. There's your 10 stocks. There's your 10 stocks. Kobe, you put that in a different language. I can't see that. Someone did ask me about this, so I'm going to put C3AI in there. All right. Markets, I'm not putting them up. I'm not putting them up. Kobe, UFPT. All right, let's go check these out. Out of all of the stocks you gave me, UFPT at the top of the list. And look at that, CI. Let's go see which ones have CIs above 1. Out of the 12 stocks, 5 of them have CIs above 1. Let's go check those out first. If I'm looking and going into next week, let's go see if any of these are worth it. Let's put this on 3-month graph. Let's go change my graph. Wow, look at UFPT. Look at that. I'm going to change my layout to the NPI, near perfect indicator. Ooh, I like that. UFPT. I like that going into next week. I like that going into next week. Keep that on your radar, folks. Keep that on your radar. I like that one. I like that stock. Fix. I'm looking at the NPI layout, the 5 and the 40. I'm not feeling this one. 2 days down. I'm watching the RT, which is the technical indicator fall. I know it's a buy. I'm not feeling that. Let's go look at relative, add a parameter. Let's go relative value. Let's go relative safety. Fundamentally sound. I'm just not feeling it from right now from a technical standpoint. All right, let's go to the next one. You know what that one is? As much as that's a car crash. That's just, was that an earnings? That Crocs used to be, wow, right after earnings. Look at that. That's a car crash. From the MPI, nothing's telling me it's good, bad, or anything. This is, there it is. Corey asks, does anyone know what the heck is going on with Crocs? Man, it's just, let's go news. We'll do this real quick. Let's go to news. Let's go pull up some news on it. I'm not, wow, long runway for growth. Let's go look at press release. I got nothing from a press release. I'm not, wow, crash city on Crocs. Ooh-wee. I'm not, that's a car crash. I'm not telling anybody you need to be in that. I'm just looking at the analysis. RV and RS are there. Fundamentals are there. But there's no momentum to the upside. Everything I read on Crocs says the company is fine, just crashed for no reason. And I didn't see any news on it either, Corey, as you just saw me take a look. What else is in here? Ooh, ETN. You know, I like the move. I do like the move. Remember, right now we're looking at the stocks that have CIs above 1. I like the move. But I'm coming to a level of resistance right there. Look at that. It's got to get above that. Big wick at the top, big wick at the bottom, a little bit of a doji cross. I do like it from an MPI, near perfect indicator. I needed to break above this level of 177.21 and then finally break out above the 3-month high right there. So I see that, but a lot of selling pressure. Just be careful with that. If you're in it, though, leave it alone. Shake Shack's just a little old place where we can get together. Shake Shack, baby. Shake Shack, baby. All right, so I know Joey's probably going to click that, but that's Shake Shack, not Love Shack. But that's, I could do that because RJ's not here. I know that that's Love Shack, John, but I just made it my own. Randy said, yeah, dog, you made it your own. You made it your own, dog. All right. Anyway, notice the gap up and notice the fade of the gap. I noticed the fade of the gap. That's a bearish sign. Be careful with Shake Shack. You know something? If you are in it right now, I'm going to give you this line in the sand. Sitting about 65.77. All right. That's probably, if you go below that, you fully faded the gap, that's probably an opportunity for you to get out of the stop. All right, Glenn has perfect pitch. Thank you, John. That was perfect pitch. Crocs is not a necessity. People are pulling back. That could be it. But a lot of people are still spending money. All right, so energy, are you giving me crickets? Energy is giving me crickets. No, don't hate on my singing. And that's the last stock. That's the last stock in the list. All right, that's the last stock from the CI. Let's go take a look at your other stocks. All right, so there's only a couple of stocks in there that I did like for this week that you gave me. Let's go look at the rest of these stocks. Let's go take a look at, put them on a 3-month graph. AV, I like the move. All right, I do like this one right now too. I like them. My nickname today is RJ. No, it's not, Mark. All right, right off of 3-month high. Friday's move, right off. I like that. Very little wick at the top. I like that going into the week. I do like that pick going into the week. AI, it's moving again. From an MPI's perspective, new low, new trough here. This has some upside. If I'm not currently in it, though, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for 12 cents higher than 28.31. The stock's got some upside from there. The 3 and the 8, the 5 and the 40 in price cross, the 5 and the 40 on RT cross. I like the move. Move from a sell to a hold. I just needed to get past that level of 28.31. All right, let's go to the next stock, SDGR. Watch the parabolic moves. This is news driven. It's going up for 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row. Big move on that. I'm wondering if that's news driven. Up almost 15%. Press release. I got no news on it. I got no big news on it. So you know what I would do with this? I would look at 12 cents higher than the high to get in. If you're currently in it though, I would look at getting out. Big up day. I'd look to be getting out at the prior day's open. Sitting at 33.16. You got some space to give it to the downside. That's my line in the sand. I do like it from the tech though. Look at that. The 5 and the 40. Not a lot of move recently, but until now. This could be turnaround. I like that play, but just be cautious with that play. METV, again, METHODOFLOVE, a method of modern love. So this is a 3-month graph. Let me tell you what I like about this. Look at that low. I like that. I'll take that. I like that. I like the move. I like the 5 and the 40 just crossed on RT. 2 days off the 3-month high. I also like this play as well. I like this play as well. And you know, if I'm in it, I'm trying to play the trend line, I would use that trend line as a level to get out. I do like, apps. I like the move again. New 3-month high. I like the move coming off. The 5 and the 40 on price about to cross. The 5 and the 40 on RT cross. I like this one too. Going into the week. Let's go to the next one. Wow, EPAM. Look at that. Now, from the NPI, though, the 5 is far away from the 40. So I can play this as a technical move. If I'm going to play this as a technical move, what's the 5? What's that at RT? I'm going to give this a price target of the 40-day moving average of stop. I'm going to give this a price target of about 273.73. All right. If it can get higher than that, then I'd keep it. But that's going to be my price target because I need to see the 5 and the 40 cross. Deep trough on RT. The 5 went above. Last time that happened, it went up for a couple of days before it came back down. I do like the move. What is that? A hammer. I do like that. That's a hammer. And look at that move. All right. And upstart. Nice move. New 3-month graph. No wick at the top. I like that play. Just be careful that it's not going to become parabolic. And yes, I'll look at one more stock since Eric trying to call me out. Since Eric's going to call me out. It better look good. MPWR. Let's go look at it. MPWR. No. See, no, there's nothing. Not yet. Except for it's coming off a level of support. I'm not feeling this. Not yet. I'm not feeling this for a couple of reasons. I like the bounce. I need one of these two things to be in play. And the stock is, and another thing, from that high, let's get past that trend. Let's get past that downtrend. Look at the revert. Look at the pullback from that downtrend from today. I'm not feeling this yet. I got 3 things to look for. RT to go across, price to go across, or break above that trend line. Not feeling that. Last 2 stocks. I got to go. This is why I tell y'all the way. With Zoom. ZM. Lots of volume on HEPA. This HEPA. Man, I thought you said on HEPA. That's 1 day. That tells me it's news driven. And it's split. That's news driven. That doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy, Mark. And trending down overall, it broke above that trend. That's news driven. That doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy on just 1 day. 71%. What do you think is going to happen with that? Achieves primary and secondary endpoints, including, all right. What do you think is going to happen with that? I want you to understand something. People went to sleep on Friday. The stock's price was at $8.87. It's almost doubled. What do you think is going to happen on that? I think that a lot of people are going to take profits on that. All right. Number one, it did break above the trend. I'm okay with that. It did break above the trend. I like that. I'd like to see if it's got some more upside if the 5 crosses above the 40 on RT and the 5 crosses above the 40 on price. All right. I think that that's news driven and there's going to be profit taken. That just makes sense to me, even after it's split. And the last stock, I don't know what's going on. Zoom. Now, Zoom, I do like. This wasn't an earnings play. No. I like the move coming off support. All right. I like the move coming off support right here. I like that the RT on the NPI crossed. I like that the stock's price coming off the high. Look at that. I like the move of breaking above the trend line with RT crossing. Very close to 5 and the 40 on price. There we go. Zoom, I like. Zoom, I like. I would look at 12 cents higher than the high. And if it breaks that back down below the trend line, I'd get out of it. You should have asked about stuff. I'm not looking at no more stocks. Listen, I love you guys to death. But I looked at a lot more stocks than I should have. Eric says, I agree with you, Glenn. I'm looking for a stronger entry on MPWR, but it is moving in the right direction. Thank you for taking a look at it. Your take on it is important to me. Yes, and I appreciate that. Man, you called me out, though. That was what you did. You called me out. I fell into that trap of you calling me out, Eric. You can laugh. I'm going to laugh about that. I fell into the trap of you calling me out. Glenn, remember that TV Zoom? Yes, that's right. Zoom, zoom, zooma, zoom. Come on and zooma, 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 zoom. I remember that. I thought that was only an up north thing. All right. I'm done for the day. Hit the like button. Oh, yeah. How many likes did we get? I got 52. Folks, I gave you a lot of information. I gave you some good stocks to keep your eyes on for the week. All right. Watch tonight's video. I got my top 5 for the week as well for both U.S. and Canada. All right, so it was the New York and Boston market for sure. That's right. That's true. Electric Company up there too. Wonderama. Remember all of those shows on Sundays up north? All right, so again, you guys hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything to hit that. If you like the content, you want to come back and see more content like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. And after the video is up, share this with the people that you know as well. All right, Zoom post earnings this PM. We're going to I do like the move on it. I do like the move on it pre. Now, we'll see what happens with earnings. All right, they'll either beat both earnings and revenue and guide forward, or they might beat earnings with relative safety. Ooh, I'd be careful with relative safety is at 0.84. I'm not sure if I feel real comfortable that they're going to beat earnings. We'll see. But you would think that with more people working from home, still Zoom is being used. That may be a good factor for them. All right, I gotta go. All right, thank you for being here today. Don't forget the 6 p.m. video. Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Bom dia. Salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Until next time, folks, see ya.